Hey everybody, it's Miss Tara. We're going to do a story time. Get your blanket and your stuffy and race in front of the screen. Don't have your stuff ready by now, then you must be extra silly. We're going to read about Isaac and Rebekah today and their faithfulness and trustworthiness. It's pretty amazing. So here we go. A little girl named Alice kept busy all day through. She went to school, she played with friends, and helped with homework too. Whenever she had extra time, she curled up in her nook and read her favorite story from the Bible storybook. One day she read of Isaac when suddenly she heard a tapping on her window from a friendly airmail bird. That's funny. Alice opened up her window. The bird perched on her hand. He dropped a letter on her lap, and this is what it said. Reading is the magic key to take you where you want to be. The book that Alice held became a great big picture screen. Alice walked through to Bible Land and came upon this scene. She saw a man named Isaac who looked sad as he could be. He mourned his mother who had died and missed her terribly. That's sad. Abraham, his father, said, "What Isaac needs right now is a wife with kind and gentle ways to comfort him somehow. But among the godless Canaanites, there's no one he should wed. His wife should come from his wife should come from Haran, where my people live instead." So he told his trusted servant, "I've a task for you to do. Promise me you'll do exactly what I want you to. Go to the land where I was born, and it is there you'll find a maiden from my people who's loving, sweet, and kind. Tell her my son Isaac is looking for a wife, then bring her here to Canaan to become his married wife." The servant took 10 camels loaded down with gifts that day and started off for Haran, which was very far away. Aren't you glad we don't travel by camel anymore? When he arrived in Haran, he prayed to God above to help him find a maiden who'd bring Isaac joy and love. He prayed, "Dear God, please let it be the kind of maiden who, after offering me a drink, will care for my camel too." The maiden named Rebekah came by in just a while. She was beautiful and graceful, and she had a heavenly, friendly smile. She drew some water from the well. The servant saw her there. He asked her if she had a bit of water she could spare. Do you think she's the one? Rebekah offered him a drink, and then when he was done, she saw his thirsty camel, who had traveled in the sun. Rebekah got some water for the thirsty camel too. The servant was quite happy, for his prayer was coming true. He knew Rebekah was the one picked by God above to be the wife of Isaac and to fill his heart with love. He gave Rebekah jewelry, then asked her right away if he could meet her family and stay with them that day. She said her father, Bethuel, had room and food to spare, and the servant and his camel would be very welcome there. The servant said a thankful prayer. He was so elated, for he knew that Abraham and Bethuel were related. The servant told her family who he was sent to find, someone to marry Isaac, a maiden sweet and kind. He said, I found the perfect one to wed my master's son. If you'll let Rebekah go with me, God's wish will then be done. Rebekah's folks gave their consent, and without too much delay, Rebekah and her servants and her nurse went on their way. Isaac met Rebekah and loved her from the start. Abraham was happy for the joy in Isaac's heart. The time had come for Alice to leave this Bible scene. She came back home by walking through the giant picture scene. Then Alice thought, I've learned a lot today in Bible land, for Isaac and Abraham were part of God's plan. God had promised Abraham a long, long time ago that he would start a nation that would prosper and would grow. And since Isaac was his only son, Isaac had to have a wife that would share in his belief in God and lead a faith-filled life. And though God is very busy with a million things to do, he helped the servant find Rebekah so his promise could come true. And that can be found in the Bible in Genesis chapter 24. That entire chapter talks about what was in this book with Isaac and Rebekah. And I want you guys to think about this week for your homework, this story, and read it in chapter 24 of Genesis, and think about how often there's a problem and whoever's having the problem prays and asks God what to do. And if we're faithful and we pray, not just when we have problems, but when we're not sure what to do or we want to help somebody, if we pray and ask God and pay attention, let's see what he does. And so that's going to be your homework. When you have a problem or even something that you're just considering if you should do or not, I want you to talk to God about it and then write it down, or if you're in the smaller grades, the younger grades, you can draw a picture of what happened when you did that. Maybe you're still waiting patiently. Maybe the answer came quickly. So draw a picture of that or write that down, and that will be your homework this week. You're also still working on memorizing James chapter 3, verse 13. Who among you is wise and understanding? Let him show by his good behavior his deeds in gentleness and wisdom. And then there is the Lord's Prayer for your bonus CX bucks, which the Lord's Prayer you can find in the Bible, Matthew 6, verses 19 to 13. And you should be able to say that as well as I can say that. If you can do that, just like I do, close my eyes and do it, you can get your 5 CX bucks. And then also be working on the Old Testament and New Testament books of the Bible. That's a review. We had that for a Bible challenge 2 summers ago. And you'll get CX bucks for that when we come around on Wednesday nights when I come around and see you. So I hope I see you soon. I miss you tons. And be thinking about turning to God when you have a problem or a need or something to consider. I'll see you soon. Bye.